Alrighty, ready to get going? Yogurt was good for anybody who cares. Oh, I need to do something real quick. You'll play Wii French Yogurt with Peach at the bottom. I didn't want to play it. No. I just wanted to actually get that there. I needed that for just in case. I realized that I should have the countermeasures ready and available. Ugh. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle? I'm gonna say Giselle. A student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell her from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone, there was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are the one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentleman. Thanks for detective friend. She was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on the way out of the restaurant myself. Then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. Just after I bent down and picked it up. Bang. I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Hey dude, sorry I presented your profile because I didn't know what to do. I didn't get a chance to look at the court record. Well, it seems I was right. Pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I would be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country still is in its infancy, our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. To think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. The H stands for amazing, and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. Didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against, the gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Masama. Defendant Naruhodo, before recess is over, please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Oh, thank you for the pause before those old fossils know what's hit them. Oh lord. I'm 12 years old, guys. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I would have already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really gonna give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. You're a true friend. You're here till the end. You pull me aside when something ain't right. Talk to me now and into the night. Till it's alright again. This isn't my battling. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from the Yume cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. I like this guy. I can see why everybody's into... I can see why everybody's into this one. Supreme Corn... Yeah, Corn too. We're here and I resume this trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. Thanks to your certain young stripling, prosecution is now rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize, that's their job, it's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? I think that's supposed to say flounders. Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you chumped up rookie boy. You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we will become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of here. You little brat! Thank you, Counsel. The court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, the trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Your Excellency? Ooh, swan hat. Hello. Oh, she's like a little swan. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Down, boy. Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover. Yes, yes, we know all about you. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers are observation of one thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. I like the little banter. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. And print identification, please. Oh no, she's speaking in cursive. No! What am I supposed to do? I know it's probably gonna fix itself. Oh, because she can't. They speak Japanese. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. Afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. Haha. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking a stand. Now, if we may trouble you, confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? She says yes. That's how long it takes to say yes? This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, when you're the one who engineered her escape. Or he's just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your splendid eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently it was very frightening. Sorrowful sight. You mean to say... Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Yeah, we saw that coming. Okay, Swan Lady. Put that tail away. Order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Fortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening, sorrowful sight you described. She can speak Japanese. I think she's faking it. I'd arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only, a beefsteak. Don't look directly at me like that, miss. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so I obviously couldn't have been the culprit. I don't know how obvious that is, dear.
Yes!
This is condemning testimony indeed. No. Yes! No. I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Right, you filthy rat. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at a snow-white angel. Even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. He's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses testified to Fuhrer. Reported back to the Bureau. Yes, it is. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there's nowhere about her person that she can conceal a firearm. The tail? I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to, yes. Unless and until the precise location where the weapon is to have hidden, where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Well, don't worry, Miss Brett. Unfortunately, women's clothing will not have pockets, even in the year 2021. So, it's very unfortunate. Do you have a purse or something? Has that been invented yet? Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Oh, Lord. Oh, Ryu. Oh, Ryu. Oh my god. It's so... Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. To do so, we need to pull her testimony apart. She's smiling. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. How do we like the layout, by the way? I don't know if I asked for that. Look good? Cool. Slightly late luncheon.
Yes!
To 2 p.m. in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are on vogue, isn't that right? No. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. Okay, so I did have the idea for this a while ago. I knew I was going to stream DGS, but I was originally going to stream the fan translation, and then this game, the Chronicles came out, and I was like, I'll just wait. And so I had the idea put together early, so all I had to do was make it work. This gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. On the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. See, Blue, it's 3-1 all over again, but also I can't tell if it's just because she's beautiful or because she's British. It's probably both. Yo, Polt, how you doing, Polt? What's going on? The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself a beefsteak. Supposed to press that.
Yes!
He was unable to eat, you say? Surviving. Same thing I've always done, Kate. Surviving. And that was because he just had a tooth removed at the Hota Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean... Had a good time doing a ton of backtracking, side quests, and crossroads especially. Aww. I'm sure it was, the game is fun though, right? That's what's important. That it was you who ate the steak pictured here? Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right. Yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant land on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. The plates were bare. There was no T-bone steak. There was no bone. So it appears the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Renosuke, about the witness? It's very meaningful. A slap. Last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing, The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well. Miss Brett, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Cosmo. I'm gonna remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I don't know, Patrista. Hope there are some more useful tips that you're picking up from this experience than that, Renosuke. I ordered a beefsteak for myself, the professor, and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. Wasn't there only one glass on the table? Excuse me? Yeah. It's only one, I think. I think that's right. Go for it.
Yes!
That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. It does look good, yeah. That was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what is odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ugh. Renosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Hold on, let me look at that picture again. I want to see that. I want to see this cut of meat. No, I could see the cut. I could see that cut being kind of natural. If it was cut at like two different angles, kind of. I don't know. Like the piece that was cut out was too big. So they cut out a triangular piece and then another triangular piece, and then that's how that got like that. If that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah, You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case? Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me that you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. I don't know, Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying. Everything... Hey, Eggers, thank you. Thank you for the cheers. How you doing? Good to see you. Also terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide that fact that I'd been there at all. What'd you say? Good gracious. You gonna see your eyes? Sorry. There, as I showed the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student has just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief? No. Then this can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. She could conceal a glass, she could conceal a gun. It would... Yes! If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. You can hide a glass, you can hide a gun. It would seem that she slipped it into the small handbag she was carrying. Handbag strap, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has actually no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning. But in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, if you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So I'm glad there's a deeper significance in the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett said she stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Yes, music fade out. That was good. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Mr. Jailbrat's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. Ow! Order, order, order. Is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Beneath the mask. Where have you been? Sleep. Is it sleeping? I don't know the words to that song, so I'm not even gonna try. Do you think so, Cosmo? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I completely forgotten about. This photographic print. Oh, it's clear. This print is a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Oh man, they got me. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Oh look, he got shot. That's what it looked like. That's what I'm saying, the swan, it's right there. Under the hat, it's good. That handbag, you know. Inspector Hosonaga, you submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. Excellency. Photograph taken by Hosonaga-san after the incident occurred. It shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair by the victim's table. They might have been bigger. No, I guess no. We've seen the handgun that Ryu picked up, so it's not unusual to think that the ones that she had could be the same size. We've had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. Court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print is submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, it has further significance if I say it does. Take a look at this. What is that? What is that? That brand? That birthmark? It does look like a moo cow. I did not see that, David. I'm satisfied there's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, there's only one logical conclusion. The pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No, just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? It's not it. It would be a game. Shut up. I must say you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weak are meat while the strong eat. You are wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew onto your heart's content from the inside of yourself. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dreams of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? There really no chance of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing we can do about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. Seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. Man, that smug little... Ryunosuke. Yes! I didn't get... You really need to learn objection, dude. Wait, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet. No one was talking to you. This amateurishness is getting tedious, and His Excellency deems that the trial is over. He gives it. It's the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then the ruling on this case at the time would be out of the question.
Objection!
That is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentleman is carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone court scrutiny. Wow, you're really, really easy to convince. I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. He's a wheezer, alright. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which doesn't seem right. True, true. There's something about this photograph which doesn't seem right. We'll link and put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I am satisfied by your immediate response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Oh, I like the sprite. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You identify for the court the significant... Where in this print, we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. I think it's this. I don't know what this is. This is the only thing in the picture that does anything to me. Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with this magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Auchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. David, what have you done? Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What you're thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn has something to do with this case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, that's all over. I was thinking I should keep digging and I hope I might uncover something useful. Yes, You're right. I am? We can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to prise the shutting door back open again. Just give up, Council. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed. I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue, but it's a little more than conjecture. If we had evidence... But if we had evidence? Evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then would you allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. As soon as you pointed out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I had to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. And to find some evidence that proves what that word burn really means. So then, defense not provide evidence. Hold on. I can't turn this around. I can. Okay, no, it's not that. I don't think it has anything to do with this. I would like to see this, though. You may not come in! Oh my god! Why? Oh my god. Of course, you can get a new pin made. You can just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still know my student number by heart. I always say to myself, I mustn't forget to write it down somewhere. But then I forget to not to forget that. It's a symbol of UMA University. Every student wears this pin with pride. Funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I like the spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although it does cause problems, lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Perhaps it was the idea of the founders. A sharp pin for a sharp mind, or something. Aha! Aha! Maybe just yeah, there we go. There we go. Yep. There we go. I see it. What's in this?
Yes!
Does Council yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe the photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, there are things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady would really be any further would really be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's fairly clearly visible in this other photograph. Oh my god, no, I see the twerk now. I hate it. Thanks. The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You don't fool me, boy. If that's your game, let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean.
Yes!
The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate. Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ah! Emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Yonosuke, you genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered his burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. Even the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
I don't know what he's gonna do. Sadly, Prosecutor Aochi, the chances of that are extreme. Then why? Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Oh, such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at a picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And, although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. That seems dangerous. Maybe more specific, Inspector. Well, let's see. The flame was around 90 degrees centigrade. A burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. 90 degrees centigrade? Isn't centigrade Celsius? Am I wrong there? I think centigrade and Celsius are the same thing. Okay. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anybody scream at all. Damn. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter.
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before. He was already dead when that burn happened. On the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. Well, if the professor carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Aochi? Well, yes, I suppose. The question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? Or the gunshot covered it up? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think? Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this. But I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. No, well, you're gonna have to explain it to me, buddy. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. Was already deceased. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. But in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible. The man was already dead. Already dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness. Order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. He was killed by a gunshot. That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. They didn't do a real examination. They just looked at the body. That's why she took the glass. Because it had poison in it, I bet you. Or something. I don't know, maybe I'm spitballing a little too absurd here, but oh my god. This is just another ridiculous play by the rookie student, but clearly has no grasp of the facts. No, Prosecutor Aochi, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. Get him, girl. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. It was true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Wait a minute. I thought we introduced ourselves to him. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. Your Excellency. The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. It wasn't a thing before. Thank you, Your Excellency. Am I gonna see your eyes? No. What's that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help, especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. I knew she could speak Japanese. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country often. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. Oh, so she racist, okay. Well, it seems that the men of this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I'll have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this, the lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I know, but it doesn't make it any better. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So we're finally going to hear her own words on the map. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his fists like that. That's fine. I mean, like, it's not okay, but, like, I'm not... You know, we'll push. I'm just gonna call it out, that's all. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible causes of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. I realized maybe I could try doing a girl voice. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice. Oh, what has happened here today? The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination. I expect that you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Why? What was that, dude? Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. I hate this bitch, actually. Unfortunately... Okay, hold on. Press.
Yes!
His hand was on the searing hot place for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at the squadron, and even still, now, the fly of his unsettling black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! Oh, Haha, what fun! You hadn't realized. Dear lady, isn't it playwright? As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English Joseph. It was really funny. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can. Oh no.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyway. The waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast.
Yes!
Kazuma probably unzipped it, let's be real. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. Explains why he ordered that drink. Correct. Water? Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you! I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of the others in the chorus, it means bless you. Oh my god, I love this game. I think it means the exact opposite. No, ouchie is, ouchie's a squirrel in my pants. Anyway.
Yes!
Yes. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. But they didn't dissect him. They looked at his body. They didn't have a medical expert do it, I think. They had a cop do it. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. Cooled even slightly, wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burned his... Hold on. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point. And yet, the fact that the victim was killed by the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Unless you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Autry is right. Ugh. This is a great song. I think I have to show the water here or something. I'm gonna press everything. Without leaving a trace? If someone was shot, strangled, or thrown from a height, or a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Right, dear lady. And as the police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. And maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Can you hear the voice I'm doing? Is it being picked up by the mic? Okay. Oh no, perish the thought, calling a sweet young lady's innocence into question? Good. On my honor, I, Takatsuchi Ouchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions on my asparagus. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Oh, sorry, I forgot to do the voice. Right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Wait!
Exactly! Doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. How do I interact with that guy? I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can. You understand? Ah, kill and blow. This lady's formidable, this is beautiful. Amazing. Tactfully admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchi's finds starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brest just said. There's a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Leonoski? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Doesn't know. What, Leonoski? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's bothering me. Oh, that's it. I mean, about Miss Bratt. Actually, no. About the person sending us, or Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time, if you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then.
Yes! Wait!
How do I move? Oh, whoops, I want to do that. I want to look at the controls for this again. Oh, can I actually, like, look? Is that a thing? HNVM? Do I actually have to do that? Oh, okay. No, I don't have to do that. Extra action is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brent as her interpreter. Things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. Oh, I didn't mean to hit F, shoot. When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find that they often let their guard down. Could be something else, Agers. Listening to someone else speak. You're right, look at him, he's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thoughts. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Rainosuke. It all has to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with AD, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with space. If you can catch the person at the right time, you might just uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around. Alright then. So I should move the marker with AD and then look at the direction of the detective. Then pursue him in space and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait!
Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Excuse me!
Excuse me. Oh my god. What is the meaning of that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in thoughts. Deeply. Looks like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
Attention!
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in this case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? You have something to add in relation to the statement that's made by Miss Brett. Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. Oh my god, dude. Crime scene thief? Well, looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been open for 3 days now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. Poisoned, isn't it? One day, our police force will be among the best in the world with Detective Gumshoe. The time is coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Miss Pratt. Can you confirm that this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. I'm gonna take a look at this. Foreign language again. Do you know what it says, Cosmo? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Go to France and ask. You'd say that you don't. You could just say that you don't know. This carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. Like there's a little left in the bottle. Although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? Not quite all of a sudden. I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility.
Yes!
What is this? The bottled water? Actually, there is one method of killing man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison! On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? Only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you.
Objection!
This is outrageous, to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize that entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one's individual guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. If I may... I will sound. Oh my... Oh, she has a voice. It is you! You who should be silent. Of course. I liked that shut up with the little fancy text. Dear lady! She just snapped. I'm afraid I have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior. No matter how inferior they may be, you still investigate this particular point thoroughly up. The bottle, I mean, Inspector. Oh, skipped that by accident. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. Believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And it's in the glass, not the bottle. I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison in any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination clarified everything. The glass she took it so that they couldn't test it. This isn't over. Well, of course it's not over, but like, we got you, bitch. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for him. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. You apparently do have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving. No, you're not leaving, bitch.
Hold it!
Oh, it's you. Please, wait! Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the defense. Mikotoba. In my darkest hour with no one left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Whoa, there's how much more is there? Well, that's good, actually, because I can still go. I was expecting to still go anyway, but I expected this case to be over by now. This is a long-ass case, I love it. Alright. How many save slots do I get? Holy shit, do I get 20? Oh my god. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ah, a judicial assistant and a woman, no less. Rules state that females are not permitted to enter this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I only asked for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. You're too late, little girl. The trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes, and I will not allow a moment more. Your Excellency! I am most grateful. It's a little crowded over here. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. The English ones? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went into Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare, I don't know, and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard that word before. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of the female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail. But I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful. Thank you. The cell's report has been entered into the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. Kurari? Okay. We've had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Oh shit, I didn't want to do that. I hit the wrong button. Page 2, baby. Synopsis. The poison... Kurari is a poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis of the entire body, and subsequent death, even in minute doses. The above-mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full-body paralysis must be found first, or the patient would die of suffocation. Interesting. I asked the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... The prosecution has already made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. Really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. Look. That unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency? If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. Please excuse me. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however. I must ask you to treat that as an order. I've said it many times before, but Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady.
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett. We understand that you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Okay, Sorry, that was another one of those, like, inward word pickup things. Poison. Where are you going with this, Council? Toxin known as Kurari, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Attention!
What complete and utter nonsense? Kurari, you say? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Kurari before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct, which means, no matter what test the police can do for toxins, they never identify Kurari. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Order, order, order. Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, Kurari has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and is first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Kurari suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Attention!
Trumpery. These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of the so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would surely have noticed. He wasn't dead, he was in shock because of the paralysis. Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that this victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Kurari was used. Explain yourself, Council. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, affiliated victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. Oh, terrible. Obviously, the man lost all strength of his muscles. He collapsed on the floor. With a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. I don't follow, cousin. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's so awful. Oh my god. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim is slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Kurari poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains this terrifying poison? This is all very convenient, isn't it? Hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All these facts, you think you're so... It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? You steal another's honest hard work, and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Realizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him from a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act, wouldn't you agree? Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great Empire of Japan is breaking the rules. Ha ha ha. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see why not. She's gonna drink it, and then it's gonna prove, and then it's gonna be in the glass that she took.
Don't get too big for your boots, insignificant little island boys.
Sorry?
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is farcical comedy. Your little police games and those foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers!
Wait, what are you doing? A sparkle left it all.
How appropriate for this shabby affair.
It was in the glass, I'm telling you. Just let me get to the point, please.
Goodness, whatever's the matter? You look quite stunned.
So, no Kurari. Bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
Ha 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 ha! You're quite incredulous, little boy. Of course. That's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time to furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you've given. Damn, the music just keeps coming. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. Oh, how did she? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little far eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? There can't have been, because otherwise she would have killed over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. The bottle of water contains no poison. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious there was poison there? Should be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivety really astounds me. Sometimes it's in need of a good staining. Until it's as dark as the universe, as what is the world. Oh, is that what that color is supposed to represent? Oh. Okay, fine. Fine. Maybe I was wrong. Whatever. I guess it contains poison. Whatever, I thought my theory was fine. Hopper did put Kurari poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle can contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. Oh, exactly. Oh, don't tell me there's more in the thing. Hold on. Maybe she has the cure. I doubt that. Then Emma's asked you to support the assertion with evidence. Is it her research again? I can't. Whatever, let's try it. It's right here in the answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report. That is not a valid explanation. No. After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent non-scoundrel is trying to ridicule your excellency. I'm trying to ridicule anyone, honestly. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Practical applications, I think? It's written here, right here under practical applications, I think. Oh, really? Go on. Well, think about it. You want to know how the poison can be drunk without it taking effect. That's a practical application of the poison use of the drink, maybe? No. Okay, well maybe I was wrong, again. Oh wait, it goes in through wounds, doesn't it? Hold on, can I read that? Is it too late? Okay. Ah, yeah, it's a wound, so it can't enter the bloodstream thing. I think I have it now. I've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. Ah, yeah. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. Oh, that makes sense. X is playing Cookie Clicker, yes. But if they were to use those lace arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel. No, that would be madness. I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. A wound, you say? See, that makes sense. Yes. Mention that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. It all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? I'm trying to wrap my head around that one, actually. Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little rapscallion. You can't do that. Well, Reinosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? Lawyer? Oh, all this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how possibly. So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with, some facts he read in a book. I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. Seems that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. I don't know. Succus. Yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers. What are they? So this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk. Perhaps it wouldn't have died when he swallowed, would he? Ah, that's right. Good gracious. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Order in the court. Order! Logic holds if the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would have been affected in the same way. You're trying to suggest? Yes, the curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case of trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. A sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. More than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. He did the point! Hey, there you go. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. He said the words. Now we're playing Ace Attorney. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must present compelling evidence. As we now know, this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Kurari? The gunshot, I guess?
Take that!
Take that. Oh. Oh shit! He was at the dentist! Oh my god. Okay, I understand. I understand. Forgot about the dentist.
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of Kurari are only found when the poison enters the body through an open wound, so for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside of the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You use that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games of yours and your hash-baked arguments are all so puerile.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy, you'll find out soon enough.
Is she holding a gun to his head? Oh no.
You see, when you have vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No. I mean, it could just
Slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
No! It wasn't. What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. And the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible, at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, will soak up the water beautifully. Beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this, you bitch. You can...
The bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there was really poison in the bottle, or not.
You...
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact.
Is that right?
Isn't that right, counsel for prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady.
That's right, and really, looking at this photograph, it's clear as day, isn't it? Every time I do, it makes me laugh. The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him on the front is little school.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using Kurari. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around, And move your dish, because...
What a wonderful imagination you have, little man. Hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly. And since you have nothing to support your well-being, Horaceo's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest and delivered in cold blood by the accused Ryunosuke Naruhodo. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really gonna get away with it? Wish you destroy that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes. Come this far, but now you're the only one who could finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence. It's true. So if there are any clues left to our seize down, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. But think back again, I was trying to remember every last detail at the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Oh my god. It's got some funny. I'm a vibrant memory of the same scene stuck in my head. Maybe another clue to expose the identity of this Dr. Wilson's kill. Sure. There has to be. Actually, Cosmo, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. You guys have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere, the clue that shows who the Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... I assume?
Take that!
Or whatever. Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? Ugh, he's still miles away, probably still thinking about that bottles being smashed. But as you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, perhaps if you took anything from the scene of the crime. For instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day. Wait a minute.
Where are you going with this little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. You will find that the relative position of everything there makes you laugh every time. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front. There's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah! Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies that the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Zelbrett.
I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous, fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has just apparently remembered seeing? Hold it. That you, buddy? Yep. No, it's you. This could be the moment my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... You know, you're not bad looking either. Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all. And I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you'd been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered: the steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Plate inspector, the blood, man. Show the court. Of course, examine the plate at your leisure. No blood. No blood. And what is this? No, that's impossible. I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It's right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on his side of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Oh my god, you racist. We knew, but like... I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire. I believe we finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. Let's pretend attempted courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
This sorry-looking steak reveal. It doesn't look sorry. Reveals facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine again, be my guest. A plate of steak. Was the plate I saw or thought I saw just a figment of my imagination? Wait, is that the wrong steak? It's not over yet, not until the final gamble. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. Believe in myself. Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. Has the evidence... Well, we've been through this already. No, it's necessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Let's put... Sure, there's another clue, yeah. Your Excellency, please wait. There's another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef. Unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett. We must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you are alluding. Okay, just to control this. Yes. How, obviously. Is that the coin? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. The hallmark is from the Hoi era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? This is the wrong steak. Wait, did you say it was a Hoi Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today there's been talk about Hoi Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but now I've heard of bouillon and bouillon. That's funny. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... Where's my
Got
bell?
it!
Got it. Good gracious, that's... a Koban?
What on earth?
Boy, Era wanted that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, isn't it? Tell me, why is there old coins seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no more of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Yeah, perhaps angry. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rebook my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be relevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let it stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy.
You should realize here that it's you who's being irrelevant.
God, the voice breaks. No, I'm the one on trial here.
The
point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin to explain what it's doing under the steak. Owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. It's this dude. Curio. Haha.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antique dealer and the owner of Rasute, Curio Kurekuta-san. Curio? As in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Your name is Giselle, spelled like that. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something when his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. Like, Giselle is a normal name, but not spelled like that. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure? Indeed, the Hoei Koban, my prize coin. Then this Hoei Koban... Do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No. Please, why would Kurekuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and his plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
Yes. Which is why I'm asking to bring Kurekuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here, without moment's delay. Wow. I can't believe we come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that we chase down the real significance of this Koban. We'll find that it's a key element in the case. Oh, this girl clearly did it. Oh, thank God. I thought we were about to go on another to be continued. Oh, there's 4 people on the stand now. This stand just keeps getting bigger and bigger. What's this? What's all this about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for my little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when they cast from this courtroom, I became a ruined man and a trice, a worthless withered antique. Nothing more I have to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Kurekuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute... Oh, I didn't get a chance to read it. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you seen this Koban? Yes, that's it. Yes, that's it. That's the one. The very exact one that it is. Oh, didn't notice that. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that Rusty Bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. as I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where? Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my holy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing! Excuse me, could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah yes, that's right, the secret undercover operation. La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Good crimes indeed. We wanted to nip this case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flesh out the criminal. Seems likely. This Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korekuta-san's Koban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Was it Giselle? I don't know who else it could be other than this dude. If it ended up under that stake, it had to be good. Yes, seems like a likely candidate for a Koban thief. Oh. Okay, maybe I'm stupid. I keep forgetting things. Oh, it must have been Ido. Oh, he's penniless. What am I doing? He doesn't have any money. He can't afford a nanny. Obviously, it can only be you, Sergeant Ayasa Nosa. How dare you, you monster! Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido. Ido is the master. No way. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? What the hell, dude? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Not doing it. Flippity-clop, flippity-clop, flippity-clop. What the hell? What the hell? Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Ayasa Nosa. Prepare to stand down in the spring court, sir. What the hell? Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays to those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. Sound like it doesn't bother with a knife and fork, even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban. Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped a coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the stake when I was halfway through it devouring when it happened. Bang. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew if the police conducted a search and found that coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I'd owe too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. We have gotten so off track here. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Oh, Miss Brett. Of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Hey, thank you for the raid, Westaford. Welcome back. How you doing? Well, you know what that means. We get 1 countermeasures. I am grounded. What were you up to? Let me give you your countermeasures. Hold on. Gotta... Why is that showing? I'm so confused. Hold on. No, it's on the right layer. It's at the top. Let me re-add it.
Then check this out.
Go suck a dick, suck a motherfucking dick. Suck a dick, suck a huge or small.
Objection!
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street.
situation. 이젠 버리고 떠나자, get away. complicated situation. got to fly away. Come on, let's get away.
Thank you so much for the raid, Westford. I really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. I hope your stream went well. 1 second. It's done. Taking care of something. Okay. May the esteemed gentleman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby saddle sergeant, who would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. No, but wait a minute, that means that it's the wrong stake. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well, oof. And as for picking up his steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, beyond nonsense, it's beyond madness. Very well. Now that all testimony I hope now that all questions concerning the witness's testimony have been answered. I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone.
And good day.
Wait a minute, Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words that got me thinking. Not quite working. What exactly? But something she said jarred with me. Like there's a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. Don't tell me the steak matters. The curvature of the steak matters. No way. You can think later, but if you don't call it now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
What is it now?
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin over a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, beyond nonsense. Was there no knife and fork on the plate? Oh my god, really? No, there was. Okay. This is the damn plate. I don't know. No, I didn't want to look at the Koban again. I'm probably on the exact wrong train of thought, but you know what? Whatever. I don't... Can I save? Yeah, okay, let me just real quick. I have to look at all this again because I don't remember. I don't know. Look, fuck it. I don't care.
Take that!
What? Taking more accurately, Excellency. Oh, I didn't know. The stick was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike is very natural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious about the Holter? Holter, are you still there? Was it you? Oh my god. There's no fucking way, dude. Oh my god. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. It's even noticed it too, Miss Brett. Notice what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. And take a good look at the steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. Oh, there are teeth marks. Yeah, okay. I didn't see those before. As you can see, barbaric teeth marks there. Oh.
Ah,
Looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. But what is your actual point? That's a like. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, this will be all over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured about it. could enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we rustled through your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the stake have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last it's all come together. Has it? The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. She ate it? What? Hold on, I think I missed a step here. Everything, Your Excellency. Well, hold on. Everything. Yes, I believe these barbaric teeth marks in the stake here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. You really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. It hasn't been... what? Just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean the evidence does not exist. This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it. I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. Did her bird eat it? I don't know. The person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to. It will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Giselle? I don't know. She's 24, huh? What am I? Oh, I don't know. Okay, but I'm 23. If he's 23, I'm 23. Does Giselle have it?
Take that!
Okay, it wasn't Giselle. It was either Giselle or, oh. Wait a minute. Hold on, let me just save again real quick. I didn't expect this to... I told you right from the get-go, I'm not good at these games at all. It's either... I think it might be you.
Take that!
Yeah, okay. The answer's obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. Wait, yeah, I was right. It's not the right steak. You watch it, Cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the point under, in fact, your own steak? Attention. Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table. Did she switch the steaks? Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. The British Empire doesn't care about you. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly, surely not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, the When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hit the coin underneath it. Ritter announced he was an undercover policeman. I thought he'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, yeah, I'd be getting my marching orders. When the cadet here was arrested and taken off the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and time, I switched my stake back with the one on the poor lady's table. Ooh, hashtag investigate my slab of meat, anyone? Contact, I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die. Yeah, so yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable. However, fear not, Prosecutor San. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir. Yeah, that's gonna be the phrase message. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
Yes! So, if Sergeant knows to switch the plates over, means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. That tracks. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Early in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. That's correct. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? Oh, here we go. I think this is the pursuit theme. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of top meat? It doesn't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling out of your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. No? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. Quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beef steak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you. There it is. Here is the other steak and its plate. Please feel free to examine it. Am I gonna have to point at this? Blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Yes! Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows you that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Ugh. It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could have possibly shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. Ugh. That's right, Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Hell yeah, that did feel like a Deus Ex Machina at the time, but you know, I guess they made it work. Breakdown time. Is your hat gonna fly away? You're gonna see your eyes because your hat flies away? Outdone. Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no. What? I was gonna fly around with her on. I'm not screaming. I really never get to see her eyes? Oh, she flew up to heaven. Oh, there's little baby. There's chicks everywhere. Oh, you get that one. Aww. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Oh, Miss Brett. This time we told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using Kurari. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you plan to kill the professor knowing that no trace of poison will be found in his water, because Kurari is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would be all over. I would place the steak I ordered in front of him and make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, I love her theme song. Before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? It's such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in a chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. I planned to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Kurari in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Can we see? Yes, I am very much enjoying it, Dishnet. How are you doing? So I was right, there were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you presumably placed on the floor. A place where you were sure I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. Oh, you noticed the gun as I'd intended. Then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. The felony, actually. What was your motive, though? I don't understand. Yep, me too. Your Excellency? Yes. I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. Hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. We never got to see this girl's eyes. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement? This can't be. Hitsuchi Aochi does not lose. Not the likes of this rookie student. You better start getting used to tough opposition. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What, yes? This is insult to the old Ouchie family name will never be forgotten. You become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside to make way for the new. Get him, girl. Drag her. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. You look silly now. Actually, you don't look too bad. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchie clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Hell yeah! Yeah! Yeah, yo! Yes, I love it. I love that. And they even referenced wincing in pain earlier. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern mythology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our countries opened the doors to the wider world. The Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation, and new procedures of justice, and a new detective. A new future of law awaits, with a grumpy detective who eats snackoos. But what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. All I know is that we'll have a grumpy detective who eats lots of snackoos. That's for the young to pursue. Kazuma Sogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. He has a mission? I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Is he sent there to kill somebody? I don't know. Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In your sense, how can I put it? Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It's time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Yes! I like the flower petals. My favorite post trial celebration will always be the, well, for now, will always be the one in Ace Attorney 6, Spirit of Justice. You know the one. November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke. You finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. You owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yomei University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All of your hard work has certainly paid off. I'm sure. No, okay.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. He works hard for that result too, you know. Well, no.
He didn't do anything.
Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be from my father, who was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for making me go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Ah, yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding, of course.
Yeah, it sounded like it. Speaking of Mikotomo. Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Dang it, Susato. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now, besides. Your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law. Watch and learn, my boy. Wait to see what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will learn all that I can. Yeah, melting pot of, not really. Of cheese, maybe. Sorry, it's the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. You'll never make it through customs, dude. Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brent, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Oh yes, her. Not easy to tell you this, but what do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. No, she's not. She's British. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai. What? Shanghai? What? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga. It's a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. Must congratulate. But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case somewhere far away where her voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as it's not a serious incident of a highly political nature to the respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governors making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for actions here in Japan. Afraid that for the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game for her. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. Oh, hell yeah. The professor. You're right, this is no time for gloomy faces. She did need to get Nene on. You're correct. You already know what it is. No, we don't, Silent Toby. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival? The head waiter, I would be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. The Le Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, Le Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go to attend to the paperwork for Naruto-san's release. But yes, thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. Suppose that means I'll never know. Never find out why she killed Dr. Watson. Kazuma. Yes, Rinosuke? I just want to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? The defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I'll bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that again. I just did what you told me to, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. You know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. Being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in even then. Well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing your client? Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth, and in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. Is the voice I'm doing for Kazuma too similar to my own voice? The one I'm using for Ryunosuke? There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is? Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Well, no, because I'm using my regular voice for Ryunosuke, but I'm using... I have two tones that I generally speak in for my voice. So I'm using a lower one for Kazuma, and I'm trying to use a higher one for Ryunosuke, and I don't know if that's coming across. That's all. I just wanted to know that. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Yes, that too. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoa. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. For 5 minutes. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. Oh, that's good. It's because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. I liked Hosonaga, actually. I thought he was fun. I liked this case. This is a really, really long first case. This is a great opener. It was very interesting. It wasn't a reverse whodunit. I mean, it was pretty obvious that the British lady did it. that Giselle did it, but it didn't tell you that in the beginning, so it leaves you in the beginning with a little bit of you know, you when you're starting it out, you're like, wait, who did do it? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it was really fun. This game seems like it's going to be just so fun. That's funny. That is that the thing, Blue Coin? I just thought it was a reverse whodunit. Oh, yeah, Apollo Justice has the best opening case in the series. That no questions there for me. But or no objections there for me. But this case was really fun. I liked all the characters. I thought they were very interesting. It was really fun seeing Ryunosuke be just this childishly amateur defense attorney and blossom into like actually competent. It was really, really cool to me. Yeah, go ahead. I'm just going to talk about this for a little bit before I find someone to raid. Normally I would go later, but I don't think I want to start the next case right away. You know what I mean? I would only go for like another hour, and I don't think we'd make any headway, and I just forget what is happening. So I think it's best if I start next Friday on a fresh stream. So, oh, I could view the cutscene, yeah. So this is that. Is this one of those ones where I can play any case I want? Yeah, I'll view the cutscene. Maybe I'll save it. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I kind of liked it when Tim would just like do a sneak peek of the cutscene, but I don't know if I can reliably stop the thing in time. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, I enjoyed all the characters here. It was really fun. It was really fun watching Ryunosuke develop. Starting off with like slapping the desk, and then he actually figures out how to slam it. And then learning how to say objection, hold it, and take that. I thought that was very cool. And he still gets to use yes, so it's not like they broke that speech bubble for nothing. I don't know if we'll see any more of Giselle Brett, but like I wouldn't be surprised if she comes back somehow. We didn't see her eyes. Yeah, his eyes dart less often, and he becomes more sure of himself, and I think that's really cool. So I will stop here, and let me look for somebody to raid before I end all this. And the next time we will come back with the adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. That's quite the title. Okay, computer, here we go. Thanks, bud. See who's live right now. If I'm not doing anything, I might do a bonus stream tomorrow. Oh man. There's that big race going on between Meds, Liam, Jake, and Maniacal. The Sonic race. Maybe we should just raid them. So yeah, let's do that. And you know, smile timers. I'll probably raid Meds or something. We're gonna do what was it again? Hashtag examine my investigate my slap. Thank you. Yeah, investigate my slab of meat. So that's what our raid message is gonna be. Copy it if you wish, and let's go raid Meds. They have a Khadgar link, so if raiding one is basically like raiding them all. Everyone have a good night. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I will see you
Limit, thank you.
in the future. Bye.